What if the secret that transforms your English is not another grammar book, another vocabulary list, or another video promising fluency overnight? What if your real problem is that you keep encountering English as a stranger, learning something once and abandoning it before it becomes part of you? Today, I want to give you one simple practice that can completely change that pattern. It does not require advanced English, expensive classes, or hours of free time. It requires one real thought, one honest voice, and the courage to stay with that thought long enough to make English yours. Try it today, and you may never practice English the old way again. Let me begin with something most learners are never told. You probably do not have a knowledge problem. You have a connection problem. You have studied hundreds of words, watched countless lessons, written notes, saved videos, downloaded applications, and promised yourself that one day you would finally speak confidently. But when that moment arrives, the English you studied seems to disappear. Someone asks you an ordinary question. What did you do this weekend? You understand every word. You know the answer. You may even know the grammar required to answer it. But your mind becomes busy. You search for the perfect beginning. You reject 3 possible sentences. You worry about pronunciation. You attempt to translate every detail. Then you give the smallest answer possible. Nothing special. The conversation ends, not because you had nothing to say, but because your English had never been connected deeply enough to your real thoughts. This is the secret practice I want to teach you today. Stop trying to learn hundreds of disconnected things. Take one genuine idea from your own life and keep using it until your brain can express it from different directions. One idea, different sentences, different emotions, different questions, different situations. That is the trick. Most learners move too quickly. They learn one expression, repeat it twice, and immediately search for something new. Their notebooks become full, while their voices remain uncertain. Their English knowledge becomes wide but shallow. They recognize many things, but control very little. Imagine planting 100 seeds and changing their location every morning. You dig them up, move them, and expect them to become trees. They never develop roots because they are never allowed to remain in one place. English expressions need roots too. A sentence must meet your memories, your needs, your emotions, and your ordinary experiences before it becomes available naturally. You cannot only understand it intellectually, you must give it a life. Choose one real thought from today, not an imaginary textbook topic, not a speech about global issues, not a complicated subject chosen to make you sound intelligent. Choose something true. I did not sleep well. I am worried about an important decision. I enjoyed my conversation with a friend. I want to become more disciplined. I am tired of being afraid to speak English. Take one thought that belongs to you. Let us use this example. I am tired of delaying my English practice. Say it slowly. Do not decorate it. Do not make it more advanced. Do not ask whether another word would sound more impressive. Allow the sentence to be clear. This first sentence becomes your center. Now explain why it is true. I am tired of delaying my English practice because I keep waiting for the perfect time. You have not memorized a random grammar structure. You have extended your own meaning. Add one consequence. I keep waiting for the perfect time, so I practice less than I should. Add one contrast. I really want to improve, but I do not always follow my plan. Add one decision. Today, I am going to practice for 15 minutes, even if I feel tired. In a few minutes, one genuine thought has produced several connected sentences. More importantly, each sentence has a reason to exist. You are not performing an exercise designed by someone who knows nothing about your life. You are teaching English to carry something real. This changes memory. The brain remembers information more strongly when that information is attached to personal meaning. A sentence about a fictional person going to a fictional shop may be useful for understanding a structure, but it may not stay with you. A sentence about the promise you broke yesterday carries emotion. Emotion creates attention, and attention strengthens memory. This is why you sometimes remember a single sentence someone said to you 10 years ago, yet forget a vocabulary list you studied last week. The sentence from 10 years ago mattered. Your English practice must begin to matter. Do not misunderstand me. I am not saying every practice session must be emotional or serious. You can speak about food, weather, clothes, family routines, work, a television program, or something funny that happened. The key is that the idea must be connected to your experience. Suppose your thought is, I nearly missed the bus this morning. Now allow the thought to grow. I nearly missed the bus because I left home late. I left home late because I could not find my keys. I thought the bus had already gone, but it arrived a minute later. I felt relieved when I saw it. Tomorrow, I will put my keys beside the door. This is how natural language develops. One event gives birth to a chain of meaning. You are no longer collecting isolated sentences. You are building a small world in English. Now ask yourself something important. Why have so many learners never practiced this way? Because collecting feels safer than creating. When you watch a lesson, the teacher carries the responsibility. When you copy a phrase, the speaker has already made the decisions. When you complete a grammar exercise, there is usually one correct answer waiting for you. But when you create a sentence about your own life, you must choose the words. You must tolerate uncertainty. You must risk being imperfect. That risk is where your speaking ability begins. Your voice will not grow only by observing other voices. Eventually, you must place your own thoughts into the language. Start with the smallest possible version of your idea. A learner often becomes stuck because the idea inside the mind is too large. You want to explain an entire experience in one perfect sentence. You try to include the background, the emotion, the reason, the result, and your opinion all at once. The sentence becomes so heavy that you cannot lift it. Break it. I had a difficult meeting. My manager asked me a question. I understood the question. I could not answer clearly. I became nervous. After the meeting, I knew what I wanted to say. These sentences may look simple on paper, but together they communicate a complete experience. Now connect them naturally. I had a difficult meeting today. My manager asked me a question, and although I understood it, I could not answer clearly. I became nervous. After the meeting, I suddenly knew exactly what I had wanted to say. You did not begin with the final paragraph. You created it one clear step at a time. Whenever your mind says, my English is too weak for this idea, make the idea smaller. Do not abandon the message. Reduce it. Replace a difficult word. Divide a long sentence. Give one example instead of 5. Describe the thing when you cannot name it. Fluent speakers do this more often than you realize. They adjust the message while speaking. They do not always produce the first version that appeared in their minds. Communication is flexible. Your first sentence does not need to be beautiful. It needs to open the door. Once the door is open, more language can enter. The next part of the secret is where your brain begins developing flexibility. Take your original idea and refuse to say it in only one way. Many learners memorize one sentence and feel safe only when the situation matches that sentence exactly. The moment a question changes, they become lost. Perhaps you memorize, I have been learning English for 2 years. Then someone asks, when did you begin learning English? The information is the same, but the form is different. Because your brain has stored only one fixed sentence, the new question feels more difficult than it should. You need to teach one idea to wear different clothes. Take the information. You began studying English 2 years ago. Now express it in several ways. I started learning English 2 years ago. I have studied English for about 2 years. It has been 2 years since I began learning English. I was a complete beginner 2 years ago. My English journey started 2 years ago. You do not need to memorize every variation at once. The purpose is to show your brain that one meaning can travel through more than one structure. This gives you freedom. When one sentence does not arrive, another route remains open. Use this technique with ordinary ideas. I do not enjoy crowded places. Change it. Crowded places make me uncomfortable. I prefer quieter places. I feel more relaxed when there are fewer people around. I usually avoid places that are extremely busy. Now imagine somebody asks, would you like to attend a large public event? You have several pieces of language available. You can answer according to the situation instead of depending on one memorized line. This is not only a vocabulary exercise, it trains mental movement. Fluency requires the ability to change direction while keeping the meaning alive. Consider the sentence, I was disappointed because I did not receive the job. You can change the emotional intensity. I was a little disappointed. I was deeply disappointed. I was surprised and disappointed. I felt discouraged for a few days. You can change your perspective. I did not receive the job, but the experience taught me something. The rejection was difficult, although it helped me identify my weaknesses. I wanted that opportunity, yet I now understand that I needed more preparation. You can change the time. I was disappointed at first. I still feel disappointed. I think I will eventually be grateful for the experience. One real event has now created language for emotion, reflection, contrast, and time. This is how you build usable English without memorizing endless, unrelated material. Choose one experience and explore it deeply. You can ask, what happened? Why did it happen? How did I feel? What did I do next? What did I learn? What may happen in the future? Would I respond differently now? These questions create a natural speaking path. You do not need a new topic every 2 minutes. One meaningful experience can give you 15 minutes of valuable practice. Let us imagine your thought is, I canceled a plan because I needed rest. What happened? I had planned to meet a friend. Why did you cancel? I had been working for several days without enough rest. How did you feel? I felt guilty because I did not want my friend to think I was avoiding her. What happened next? I explained honestly, and she understood. What did you learn? I realized that setting a boundary is better than pretending I am fine. What would you do differently? Next time, I will speak earlier instead of canceling at the last moment. Notice what has happened. You started with one simple decision and created a complete reflection. You use the language of plans, reasons, emotions, communication, realization, and future intention. This is not empty practice. You are learning how to express yourself as a human being. And that is the purpose of language. Now I want you to take the same idea and turn it into a conversation. A great number of learners can speak when they control the topic, but they struggle when another person enters. They give an answer and then wait silently because they do not know how to keep the exchange alive. The secret is to practice both sides before the real conversation happens. Suppose your central idea is, I am trying to reduce the time I spend on my phone. Ask yourself the questions another person might ask. Why are you trying to reduce it? Because I noticed that I was checking my phone whenever I felt bored. How much time were you spending on it? On some days, more than 4 hours. What are you doing instead? I leave it in another room when I work, and I take a short walk when I need a break. Has it helped? Yes, although I still find it difficult in the evening. Now reverse the direction. Imagine the other person says they have the same problem. How would you respond? I know what you mean. What kind of applications take most of your time? Have you tried turning off your notifications? Do you think the phone is the problem? Or is it the habit? You are no longer practicing a speech. You are preparing for movement between listening and responding. Conversation is not a performance where you deliver a perfect paragraph and receive applause. It is cooperation. One person offers a thought, the other person receives it, reacts, and returns something. Learn to return something. A response does not always require a long answer. Sometimes the best response is a short phrase followed by a thoughtful question. That sounds frustrating. What happened afterwards? I understand your decision. Was it difficult to make? I have experienced something similar. How did you handle it? You seem excited about it. When will you begin? These responses make the other person feel heard. They also remove the pressure to speak continuously about yourself. Many learners believe fluency means dominating the conversation. It does not. A person can speak for 20 minutes and still communicate poorly. Another person can listen carefully, respond clearly, and ask meaningful questions with much simpler English. Real fluency includes attention. Your aim is not to prove how many words you know. Your aim is to understand and be understood. Use your one central thought to practice different types of questions. Questions about facts. When did it happen? Where were you? Who was involved? Questions about reasons. Why did you choose that? What made you change your mind? Questions about emotion. How did you feel? Were you worried? Questions about possibility. What might happen next? Would you do it again? Questions about opinion. Do you think it was the right decision? What would you suggest to someone in that situation? This prepares your brain for the directions a real conversation may take. Now we reach a part of speaking that is usually ignored. Learning how to survive a difficult moment. The secret trick does not make you remember every word. It teaches you not to collapse when a word is missing. There will be moments when you know exactly what you want to say, but one important word refuses to appear. Many learners treat this as an emergency. Their faces change, their voices disappear, and they apologize repeatedly. I'm sorry, my English is very bad. I don't know. Please stop turning one missing word into a judgment about your entire ability. A missing word is not a broken language. It is a temporary gap. Build bridges across gaps. Suppose you forget the word appointment. You can say, I have a meeting with the doctor tomorrow. The doctor asked me to come at 10. I need to visit the clinic at a specific time. The first sentence is not the exact expression you wanted, but the meaning survives. Suppose you forget neighbor. Say, the person who lives next to my house. Suppose you forget refund. Say, I returned the item and I want the shop to give my money back. This is intelligent speaking. Do not believe that fluency means having instant access to every word. Fluency includes the ability to continue when access is imperfect. Practice this deliberately. Choose 5 ordinary objects around you and describe them without saying their names. It is something we use to open a door. It is a small object that protects your eyes from bright sunlight. It is a machine that keeps food cold. It is a container that people carry when they travel. It is something you use when it rains. This may feel like a guessing game, but it builds a serious communication skill. Your brain learns that there is always another path towards meaning. You also need phrases that help you remain calm while searching. I cannot remember the exact word, but it means it is similar to, it is the thing you use for, how can I describe it? What I am trying to explain is, these expressions buy time without ending the conversation. There will also be moments when your sentence begins incorrectly. Do not panic, repair it. I went there on Monday. Sorry, I mean Tuesday. She has worked there actually she worked there for 3 years, but she left last month. I was angry. Perhaps angry is too strong. I was frustrated. Repair is natural. People repair their speech in every language. The difference is that confident speakers repair and continue. Fearful learners repair, apologize, explain the mistake, apologize again, and lose the message. Say the correct version and move forward. You do not owe the listener a speech about why you made the error. Your English becomes stronger when mistakes stop controlling the direction of your attention. You can review them later. During the conversation, protect the meaning. After the conversation, improve the language. These are different moments with different purposes. When you practice your central thought, record yourself once without stopping. Then listen and choose only 3 things. 1 sentence that communicated well. 1 place where the meaning became unclear. 1 phrase that would make the message stronger next time. Do not create a long list of every imperfection. That turns practice into punishment. Suppose you spoke about a disagreement with a colleague. Your clear sentence may be, I wanted to solve the problem without creating more tension. Your unclear point may be the order of events. The useful phrase may be, before I could respond, Now repeat the story using that phrase and a clearer sequence. You are not attacking yourself. You are editing communication. That is a much healthier and more effective process. The secret practice becomes even more powerful when you change the audience. Most learners use the same type of English in every situation because they have never practiced adjusting their message. But the way you explain something to a close friend may be different from the way you explain it to a manager, a child, a customer, or a stranger. Take one idea. I cannot attend the meeting tomorrow. Say it to a close friend. I can't make it tomorrow. Something important has come up. Say it to a manager. I'm sorry, but I will be unable to attend tomorrow's meeting due to a personal commitment. Could we discuss the main points later? Say it to someone who needs a simple explanation. I cannot come tomorrow, but I can meet you on Thursday. The meaning remains connected, but the tone and amount of detail change. Now take a personal achievement. I completed a difficult course. Tell a friend. I finally finished that course I kept telling you about. It was exhausting, but I'm so relieved. Tell an interviewer. I recently completed a challenging professional course that strengthened my research and time management skills. Tell a younger learner. I finished a course that was difficult for me. I wanted to stop several times, but I continued. This develops control. You begin choosing language according to purpose, rather than repeating the same memorized paragraph everywhere. Change the emotional position too. Tell the story when you are excited. Tell it when you are disappointed. Tell it when you are calm and reflective. Your vocabulary may remain simple, but your delivery and sentence choices will change. For example, I got the opportunity. I received the opportunity, but it was not what I expected. I received the opportunity several months ago, and I now understand how much it changed me. This teaches your voice to carry emotion without depending on advanced vocabulary. Your English should be able to express more than facts. You need language for hesitation, gratitude, boundaries, disappointment, curiosity, disagreement, humor, affection, and hope. Begin with the feelings you already experience. Do not wait until you know the perfect emotional word. Describe the experience. Instead of searching desperately for overwhelmed, say, I had too many things to handle, and I did not know where to begin. Instead of searching for relieved, say, I had been worried for several days, but when I heard the news, I could finally relax. Instead of searching for embarrassed, say, I felt uncomfortable because everyone was looking at me after I made the mistake. Later, you can learn the exact word, but you have already communicated the feeling. This practice also shows you which vocabulary you genuinely need. Many learners study lists created for everybody. They memorize words about situations they never discuss and ignore the words required to explain their own lives. Let your speaking reveal your vocabulary needs. When you repeatedly struggle to express the same concept, that word deserves your attention. When you learn it, place it immediately inside your central thought. Do not only write. Overwhelmed means feeling unable to manage too many demands. Say, I felt overwhelmed when 3 people asked me for urgent work at the same time. I become overwhelmed when I do not organize my responsibilities. I was overwhelmed at first, but I asked for help. The word now has a home. A word with a home is easier to find again. Now let us make this secret practice part of a realistic daily routine, because a method changes nothing if it only sounds inspiring. You do not need 2 free hours. You need 25 focused minutes and 1 real thought. During the first 3 minutes, choose the thought. Ask yourself, what happened today? What am I thinking about? What decision am I facing? What conversation do I wish I had handled differently? What am I looking forward to? Choose one answer. Do not spend 10 minutes searching for the perfect topic. The thought can be ordinary. I spent too much money this week. I avoided an important phone call. I had a peaceful morning. I disagreed with something I heard. I am preparing for an interview. During the next 4 minutes, create the simplest version. Write or say 4 basic sentences. I spent more money than I planned. I bought several things I did not need. I felt excited while shopping. I regretted it later. These sentences become the foundation. During the next 4 minutes, connect the ideas through reason, contrast, consequence, and intention. I spent more money than I planned because I bought several things impulsively. I felt excited while shopping, but I regretted the purchases later. I now have less money available for other plans, so I need to be more careful. Next week, I will make a list before I buy anything. During the next 4 minutes, change the form. Ask questions. Why did I buy those things? Did I really need them? What usually causes me to spend impulsively? How can I make a better decision next time? Answer them aloud. During the next 4 minutes, tell the thought to a different audience. Explain it casually to a friend. Explain it seriously as advice to your younger self. Explain it as a general opinion about spending habits. The same idea will produce different languages. During the next 3 minutes, introduce difficulty on purpose. Describe the thought without using too important words. You cannot use impulsive or regret. You must explain them. I bought things without thinking carefully. Later, I wished I had not bought them. This strengthens your ability to continue when vocabulary fails. During the final 3 minutes, record the complete message without reading. Speak for 2 minutes. Then write down one phrase you used well and one phrase you want to improve. Stop. Do not turn a 25-minute routine into an exhausting analysis. The purpose is to return tomorrow. Consistency grows when the task has a clear ending. At the end of 1 week, you will have 7 personal thoughts that you can discuss with much greater freedom. After 1 month, you will have 30. That means 30 areas of your life where English is no longer entirely foreign. You will be able to discuss your habits, worries, choices, mistakes, hopes, relationships, work, and daily experiences with more control. This is how fluency becomes personal. You are not learning all of English at once. You are claiming one part of your life at a time. One day, English belongs to the story of your childhood. Another day, it belongs to your professional goal. Another day, it belongs to the decision you are afraid to make. Another day, it belongs to something that made you laugh. Every time English carries a real part of you, it becomes less like a subject and more like a voice. There is one final reason this trick changes people. It replaces the identity of a collector with the identity of a communicator. A collector asks, how many words did I learn? How many videos did I watch? How many pages did I complete? A communicator asks, what can I express today that I could not express clearly yesterday? That question changes everything. You can know 10,000 words and remain silent. You can know far fewer words and communicate with clarity, creativity, and courage. Do not measure your progress only through knowledge. Measure access. Can you find the language when you need it? Can you explain an idea when the exact phrase is missing? Can you tell the same story in a different way? Can you answer a follow-up question? Can you recover after making an error? Can you adjust your language for another person? Can you finish the thought even when you feel nervous? These are signs of living fluency. You may still pause. You may still make mistakes. You may still hear words you do not understand. None of that cancels your progress. Fluency is not a condition in which difficulty disappears forever. It is the ability to move through difficulty without losing your voice. Think about the last time you spoke English and felt disappointed. You forgot an easy word. The other person spoke too quickly. Your answer sounded much smaller than the thought inside you. Do not use that moment as evidence that you cannot speak. Use it as material. Return to the experience. What did the person ask? What did you want to say? What answer did you give? What answer would you give now? What phrase was missing? Practice the conversation again. This is how a painful moment becomes training. You cannot change the conversation that already happened, but you can make sure it teaches you how to handle the next one. Do not waste your mistakes by only feeling ashamed of them. Study the moment. Rebuild the message. Repeat the stronger version. Then let the mistake go. There is dignity in being a learner. You are doing something difficult in public. You are trying to carry your personality through a system of words that did not originally belong to you. That requires patience. Be demanding about your practice, but gentle with your identity. Say, "This sentence needs improvement." Do not say, "I am stupid." Say, "I need a clearer way to explain this idea." Do not say, "I have no talent." Say, "I became nervous and lost access to words I already know." Specific problems can be solved. Cruel labels cannot teach you anything. Your inner language affects your spoken language. When the voice inside you is constantly threatening and insulting you, your mind becomes defensive. It makes me afraid to experiment. It chooses silence because silence feels safer than correction. Create a practice space where imperfect speech is allowed to exist long enough to improve. This does not mean ignoring every mistake. It means correcting with purpose instead of punishment. When a sentence is unclear, ask, "What was I trying to communicate? What is the simplest correct version? What phrase would help me next time?" Then say the improved sentence several times in different contexts. Suppose you said, "I have been working here for 2 years." You discover the clearer version. "I have been working here for 2 years." Do not repeat it only as an isolated correction. Use it. "I have been living in this city for 2 years." "I have been practicing English regularly for 2 months." "I have been thinking about changing my career for several weeks." The correction becomes a pattern, not a red mark. This is the right role for grammar. It arrives to strengthen a message you genuinely wanted to express. You notice a gap. You learn the structure. You place it inside your life. You use it again. Grammar becomes support rather than a gatekeeper. You do not need to complete an entire grammar book before your voice becomes valid. Learn what your speaking requires. Then return to speaking. Please understand the deeper truth behind this method. The secret is not the number of sentences. The secret is attention. You give one thought enough attention that your brain begins building several roads towards it. The next time a similar subject appears, you are not beginning from zero. You recognize the territory. When someone asks about discipline, you remember the thought you practiced about delaying your work. When someone asks about money, you remember the reflection about unnecessary purchases. When someone asks about stress, you remember how you described feeling overwhelmed. When someone asks about plans, you remember the language you used for your interview. Your personal ideas become anchors. New conversations attach themselves to those anchors. This creates confidence that is based on preparation, not imagination. Many people wait to feel confident before they speak. But confidence rarely arrives first. Evidence arrives first. You complete one sentence. That is evidence. You explain a missing word. That is evidence. You continue after a mistake. That is evidence. You answer an unexpected question. That is evidence. You tell a story more clearly the second time. That is evidence. Your brain collects these moments and slowly changes its prediction. At first, it predicts, "I will fail." Later, it predicts, "This may be difficult, but I have handled difficulty before." That is real confidence. It does not say, "I will be perfect." It says, "I can remain present." Use this secret trick today, not next Monday, not when your schedule becomes easier, and not when you have learned another 500 words. Choose one thought after this video ends. Your thought is, "I am ready to change the way I learn English." Say why. "I am ready because my old method has given me knowledge, but not enough confidence." Add a contrast. "I still feel nervous, but I do not want fear to control my practice." Add a decision. "I will choose one real thought every day and express it in several ways." Ask yourself a question. What could happen if I continue this for 1 month? Answer it. I may become faster at organizing my ideas, and I may stop depending on memorized answers. Change the audience. Explain the method to a friend. Explain it to a new learner. Explain it to your future self. Create a difficult moment. Pretend you forget the words confidence and memorized. Describe them instead. Then record yourself speaking for 2 minutes. This is your first practice. No complicated preparation, no waiting, no excuse. The great change will not happen because one sentence is magical. It will happen because you have finally stopped abandoning every sentence before it becomes yours. You stay with the thought, you stretch it, you question it, you reshape it, you repair it, you personalize it, you speak it again. That repetition is not boring because the meaning keeps changing. You're not saying the same sentence 20 times like a machine. You are teaching one idea to move. A thought that can move is a thought you can use in conversation. A phrase that only survives in one exact sentence is fragile. A phrase you have used across several personal situations becomes strong. That strength is what you have been searching for when you say, "I want to speak naturally." Natural speech is not magic. It is a familiar language serving a present need. You can build that familiarity deliberately. One thought today, another thought tomorrow. Do not underestimate what small, deep practice can produce. A river does not shape stone through one dramatic moment. It returns. It touches the same place again and again until the surface changes. Your brain changes through return. Return to useful language. Return to your own stories. Return to the phrases that help you think. Return to the difficult conversation and rebuild it. Return to the sentence that once felt impossible. Every return tells your brain, "This matters." Keep it available. The sentence arrives faster. The question feels more familiar. The pause becomes shorter. The mistake feels smaller. The voice becomes steadier. Then one day, someone asks you a question. And instead of searching through a dark room for the right English, you begin speaking. Perhaps the answer is not perfect. Perhaps you change a word halfway through, but you stay connected to the meaning. You finish, and in that moment, you understand that your English did not suddenly appear. You built access to it. That is the change that lasts. Do not leave this practice as another interesting idea you heard and forgot. Choose one honest thought today and give it more than one sentence. Explain it, question it, reshape it, and speak it without hiding behind perfection. Your English will not transform because you collect more information. It will transform when the language begins carrying your real life. One thought may feel small, but repeated daily, it can rebuild the way your mind speaks. Your voice does not need permission to begin. Use the English you possess today, strengthen it through practice, and let every imperfect sentence become a step towards freedom.